Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halib.
I'm Sabib.
And I'm Lindz.
And this is Cinema Worms Podcast.
In the Halloween series, the mask that killer Michael Myers uses is based on William Shatner's face.
What? I love that. So, a complete unknown. This is the latest film from director James Mangold. He's done several other films, and the one most related is Walk the Line from 2005, which was a biopic of Johnny Cash. I remember I enjoyed that at the time.
I haven't
freaking 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Oh
this.
no!
So
how does time fly? I don't like it. Don't bring
I
real
know.
reality into this podcast.
I remember
How
listening to
very
the
dare
soundtrack
you.
a lot.
No, absolutely not. I'm sorry, listeners. That's not what we're here for. We're here for escapism, not reality.
Yeah. So this is based on a screenplay by James Mangold and Jay Cox, and it's based on a book, I think, about how Dylan went electric. And it's a full cast. So we have Timothée Chalamet as the main character, Bob Dylan, and you're seeing him from his first foray into New York at 20 years old, through the beginning of his career, folk era, then going into electric, and the movie sort of ends with that, the premiere of, I think, is Highway 61 Revisited.
Yeah.
And throughout the beginning of the film and throughout, he's encountering these famous figures in folk and history, and it's really interesting seeing how they depict them in this film. Mm-hmm. So he meets Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger in the very beginning of the film, sort of just introduces himself to them, and gets into the folk scene per the film through Pete Seeger. He meets an on and off girlfriend played by Elle Fanning, Sylvie Russo. Then he also meets Joan Baez, played by Monica Barbaro. And there are several other characters that are coming up, like Johnny Cash, played by Boyd Holbrook. And this is a particular take on this period in Bob Dylan's life and him as a character. So what were your thoughts on this film?
I love this film.
You did.
I'm always a bit nervous about a biopic, and especially a musical biopic, as you know, because there have been so many that have been either bad or they've been sort of mediocre at best, or they have completely misused the source material, even when getting direction from members of the actual band. Cough, cough, Bohemian Rhapsody. But this was absolutely fantastic. And now, again, Chalamet is a wonderful actor. We've seen him do various things over the last few years, and I didn't think that it was possible that he could disappear into a role. I thought that his face has become sort of quite iconic now, and I've never seen him vanish until now. There were points in this film I forgot I was watching Timothée Chalamet, and I forgot that it wasn't Bob Dylan. It was so uncanny, and I really enjoyed that. And I actually felt from the very first, I think I clutched at you, when he goes into one of the first scenes in the film is him going to the hospital where Woody Guthrie is, and Pete Seeger's there with him, and they invite Bob Dylan to play. He's just a kid. They're like, we'll play something. And I think I clutched at you because that was the moment I thought, oh, they've nailed this film, and I cannot wait to experience the next 2 hours of this. I'm so excited. And it was a real exploration of Dylan's need to be absolutely free with no constraints in every area of his life, his relationships with women, his songwriting, the very style of music that he's experimenting, his inspirations. This is not a guy who toes the line or wants to hear what you have to say. He does not give a hoot. He will do what he wants.
Not a hoot.
Not a single hoot was given by Bob Dylan. And you know what? I think, again, we've seen Chalamet in a lot of things. We've seen, obviously, Edward Norton is a very famous actor. We've seen Elle Fanning and things. And I was really struck by Monica Barbaro. I don't remember seeing her in anything before. And she played an absolutely incredible Joan Baez. It was watching the sort of juxtaposition of Joan being already someone quite popular in her own right, against the the unknown girlfriend of Elle Fanning, was watching these two women kind of clash without ever actually meeting. There was no, because I was thinking at one point, I hope they don't have like a caddy showdown. That would be too cheesy, and they never did, which was great.
Yeah.
But there was just always these different things on Dylan in his life, pulling him in various directions. And at one point in an elevator, he is, I'm being too British there, he says that he doesn't want to be something. And the guy who had been standing in the lift before says, what don't you want to be? And he says, anything that they want, basically. I want to be completely something else. No matter what anyone wants me to be, I want to be the other thing entirely that no one's ever thought of. And my God, does he hold that attitude. And as we the credits roll, you see a little card pop up on the screen saying that Bob Dylan, of course, as probably most of you know, won the Nobel Prize for Literature and did not show up to the ceremony. So
yeah.
even for the Nobel Committee, Bob Dylan will not do what you want him to do. Bob Dylan is actually a Rage Against the Machine lyric personified.
Okay, even if you're not like a Bob Dylan stan, I think you'll enjoy this film because it's a compelling character study, it's a compelling drama, it's set at a really interesting time in history, which I think they show these like touchstones of these really like seminal events happening in the 60s and the upheaval. You see touches of that.
Right, can you tell us what's some more?
So the way the JFK, but particularly the Cuban Missile Crisis. I like how they depicted that and just like the chaos that ensued on like the Manhattan streets, and then everything going back to normal the next day. And it's like, oh, that really happened. That's totally surreal. But really, I think that Timothée Chalamet's performance speaks for itself, and it is the main driving force of the film. It's an amazing performance. He completely disappears into the character, and it manages to be extremely convincing take on Bob Dylan while not feeling like some sort of like copy or parody. He really embodies him. It's like completely embodied performance. And I mean, the film had me emotional a lot of times, just the way there's a simplicity to it. I think it's a simple, straightforward film, which some could argue is like playing it too safe, but I think it really relies on sitting in these moments, right? These character moments, these musical moments where we just see characters pick up a guitar and play a song, and it is stunning because the music also speaks for itself.
And they're not afraid to wait. Like a lot of places might only show you sort of 20 seconds of something, and then they would cut away, just say but you really get to see him do a lot, and you get to see Joan Baez as well.
Stunning.
Oh my God, Monica Barbaro covering House of the Rising Sun. It chills.
Her voice is
beautiful,
lovely. I think everyone was really singing because I know Timothée Chalamet was really singing. Stunning. They're all great singers.
Oh, we're going to be listening to that a lot in the house this week, I think.
And the only thing I would say is that the film's mostly interested in Bob Dylan. Now, they do some justice definitely to the other characters. I would have loved to have seen even more of their inner lives and whatnot, but that's okay. So, Liz made me watch Love Hurts, the action comedy film, which is Ke Huy Quan's first leading feature. I had no idea what the heck this film was.
To be fair, I did not either. We went in completely blind. That may have been a slight error on my part. Because it was like,
I trusted you.
You did. You were a fool to trust me. It was, I feel like the equivalent of when we have to put Fitzwilliam in a box to take him to the vet. You just walked in so willingly to the theatre. But it was billed and it looked cute as a kind of maybe a sort of Valentine's week thing. Didn't quite turn out that way.
Yeah. Okay. So I had no idea what at all what the genre or anything was. Ke Huy Quan plays Marvin Gable. He's this successful real estate agent who's super peppy and great and successful. And then he gets this weird Valentine that's kind of like threatening. And you discover it's from an ex. And he and the ex were in this crime organization led by his brother, who's basically estranged from now. And he used to be an assassin in the organization, so he can do fighting and killing and all of that.
I mean, you keep calling it an organization. It doesn't seem terribly organized.
They're like a couple of like henchmen.
Yeah, listen.
Freaking bowling alley.
In this economy, it is difficult to hire good henchmen.
Yes.
You just can't get the help these days.
Yeah, they appear when they need to be beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, the film is his ex, played by Ariana DeBose, like these 2 Oscar winners, and
Who have negative chemistry,
oh my God,
unfortunately.
literally, they don't even like touch each other, or like you don't see a single flashback. It's like, how are you exes? In what way?
Well, in the when you don't murder someone, then they're your ex now.
Yeah.
That's how that works, I think. I mean, I don't know anything about the human condition.
Yeah, the plot makes no sense. But essentially, like, she she stole some money with some other people from the lead crime guy, who was Ki Hu Kwan's brother. But then she got, like, fully blamed for stealing the money. So then she had to escape for her life because Marvin Gable decided not to kill her. And then she comes back because she's like, I want to clear my name. I'm like, but you did steal the money, bitch. You stole it.
Spoilers, because you probably shouldn't even see the film. But also, it was really throwing me that he was called Marvin Gaye. And I was like, every time I heard it, I was like, his name is Marvin Gaye. His name is Marvin Gaye. It just kept happening.
And then, there's a side plot where one of the crime guys who tries to kill him, because, they're trying to kill him now suddenly, even though they let him be a real estate agent for ages, because they're like, oh, you're in league with Ariana DeBose.
Well,
like,
when they think that he did not perform his job and kill her, when they realize she's still alive.
Oh, that's it. It wasn't even clear.
Or even paying... I mean, the film... Unfortunately, the film does... it doesn't so much spoon feed you as it pounds up your food into mush and makes little airplane noises. So if you forgot, that's on you, because they mentioned it about 35 times a minute. Just in case you forget.
Yeah, so the whole film is just like people trying to fight him and him trying to escape, and yet he's still trying to sell houses. And
listen, in this economy, you have to be doing your hustle.
He's hustling. He's like, my stabbed hand and multiple stab wounds do not matter. I gotta still sell this house, even though people are trying to shoot me to death by my customers. They're in the house.
It's a competitive neighborhood, and we all know from watching action films, getting stabbed through the hand looks cool and doesn't affect your functionality of hand whatsoever. It's totally fine. You don't need tendons. It's all good.
Okay, so I don't want to talk too long, but essentially it's terrible. Like TLDR.
I didn't hate it as much as you did. You were really angry. At one point I looked over and you had your arms crossed.
I was like scowling at the screen.
Scowling. I had to be like, are you okay? I thought the fight scenes were pretty well choreographed. I enjoy it. I enjoy it when people throw each other like against things, perhaps through things, a little special treat, inside things sometimes. That was kind of fun. I knew it wasn't going to be perhaps the most intellectual film that we had seen all month, so I didn't go into it with high expectations. I feel like you might have gone in a little too blank. And again, I agree with a lot of the comments you made here. Like, there was no chemistry and between the two leads. A lot of it didn't make a huge amount of sense. But that being said, if you just wanted a popcorn flick, it could fit that bill. You don't have to think too hard about it. We had seen some quite harrowing films right before this, so I do think it was nice to see something where I didn't feel like, my heart was inverting in on itself in my chest. Just for a brief period.
It's stupid, and it's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
That is so harsh. Why is so harsh? You have seen some terrible films.
It's terrible, but like it still could be fine. But I hated it, and it sucked. So
you're really angry about it.
It's offensive to the art of filmmaking.
Okay. I've rarely heard you say such things. This might be the harshest you've ever been about a film.
But we like you cutie Q Han. Okay, I can't say his name. We can cut that out.
I mean, he is a cutie Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.